Gobber walked up and down the line of boys inspecting them before they went out to join the competition. "Very smart, Snot-Lout. Chin up, Tough Nut Junior. Haven't you forgotten something, Clueless?" "I've got my sword, sir," said Clueless. "You do have your sword," admitted Gobber, "but you do not have your swimming costume. Put it on quick, boy. I don't think that tour will be welcoming you into Valhalla in the altogether. It really doesn't bear thinking about." He moved along the line until he stopped dead in front of Fishlegs. "What?" roared Gobber in an awful voice. "What in Thor's name are these?" "Armbands, sir." "Oh, poor Fishlegs." Looking straight ahead. "Fishlegs can't swim, sir," offered Hiccup in defence of his best friend. "So we made him these out of a couple of big pig bladders. Otherwise he sinks like a stone." "Like a stone," repeated Fishlegs helpfully. "Oh, for Woden's sake," blustered Gobber. "What are the murderous tribe going to think if they catch sight of those? I'll lend you my cloak, Fishlegs, and you can drape it over them, and let's just hope nobody notices. Thor, give me strength." Now, there we are. They're all laughing. Look at them all laughing at poor Fishlegs. He can't help it. He can't swim. "Now, has everybody got their hunting dragon?" bellowed Gobber. The boys had bought their hunting dragons. They were huddled on the beach, their wings over their heads, shielding themselves from the rain. "Your hunting dragon can fly over your head as you swim. It makes you easier to spot from the beach, and they can maybe fight off any predators. Thanks, in sharks, dark breathers, that sort of thing." "Okay, you can fall out now and get ready, and I'll see you at the start line in about 5 minutes. The boys began their last-minute preparations, chattering excitedly. "Hi there, losers," sneered Snot-Lout, a tall, mean boy with nostrils so large you could stick a cucumber up them. Toothless had actually done that once. And the repellent beginnings of moustache sprouting on his upper lip like a little hairy caterpillar. "I hope Ickle Baby Hiccup has been practising his doggy paddle then." He gave Hiccup a big shove that sent him sprawling in the sand. "Ha ha ha," snorted Dog's Breath of Durbrain, Snot-Lout's equally unpleasant sidekick. Dog's Breath looked rather like a gorilla in goggles, had been rather overdoing it with the donuts. "Very funny, Snot-Lout," replied Hiccup, spitting sand out of his mouth. "You guys are normally so good at coming in last," sneered Snot-Lout. "In fact, this may be your only opportunity ever to come in first for once. Just try and at least get out of your depth, won't you, before you crawl back to the beach like the pathetic, cowardly little plankton you are. You don't want to embarrass us proper hooligans more than you actually have to. Nice armbands," Fishlegs remarked, by the way. And Dog's Breath took the pot of slimy green blubberwing goo Fishlegs was holding in his hands and poured it over Fishlegs' head before strolling off with Snot-Lout, who had a basic sense of humour, let's face it, and was laughing so hard he could barely walk. "I hope a dark breather gets him," said Fishlegs gloomily, taking off his glasses and trying to rub off the blubberwing back with the edge of his swimmers, but only succeeding in smearing it all over the glass so that they were impossible to see through. "It was just spit him out again," replied Hiccup even more gloomily, trying to rub the sand off himself, but completely failing because the blubberwing fat was so sticky. "I bet it tastes horrible." "Pop!" The musician from the murderous tribe sounded the horn to summon the competitors to gather for the beginning of the swimming race. Oh, gosh. The blubberwing goose smearing and poor Fishlegs. Yeah, so it's just going to be like looking through a fog. Chapter 2. We can begin Chapter 2 because "May the fattest and least stupid man or woman win." Hiccup's father and grandfather came over to the boys to wish them luck. Hiccup's father, Stoat the Vast, hear his name and tremble, ugh, ugh, was the chief of the hairy hooligan tribes, who was built in the traditional Viking mode. 6.5 feet high, belly like a battleship, eyebrows blowing in the breeze like a couple of large hamsters doing cartwheels. He was horribly hearty and full of the joys of spring. "Fabulous day for a swimming race," he roared happily. "I'm not sure I agree with you," wheezed old Wrinkly, Hiccup's grandfather, who was one of the judges in the competition. He was a wrinkled old oyster of a man whose ancient back had been blown into hoop by 90 years of archipelago gales. His long, tangly white beard trailed behind him, picking up shells and seaweed as it dragged in the sand. Old Wrinkly had been trying to persuade Stoat not to take part in the race. "I have been looking into the future, and the omens are not good," whispered the old man. "Nonsense," pooh-poohed Stoat the Boss. "Everyone knows you're hopeless at looking into the future, old Wrinkly. Now, I'm obviously going to win this race," said Stoat, who didn't too modesty. "But Hiccup, I would like you to beat Snot-Face, Snot-Lout, and that sort of thing." Snot-Face, Snot-Lout was Hiccup's cousin, and he was a good foot and a half taller than Hiccup, incredibly muscly and tough, and better at Hiccup at practically everything. Hiccup had no chance of beating him in a swimming race, but Stoic often didn't notice things like that. He gave Hiccup a kindly biff on the shoulder. "I know you can do it, son," he said enthusiastically. "You may be small, but you're wiry. And your legs may be just a trifle on the skinny side, but you've got the old horrendous haddock fight in those knobbly knees. All you have to remember, lad," said Stoic, taking Hiccup by the shoulders and looking into his eyes, "is one thing. Repeat after me. Keep kicking." "Keep kicking," said Hiccup slowly. "Louder!" bellowed Stoic, punching the air. "Keep kicking!" shouted Hiccup, punching the air. "Two made a fatuous man win," he says. I love his smug expression. "That's the spirit," beamed Stoic. "I know you'll make me proud, so don't let me down now." And he marched off, beaming happily. I have to have the rest of chapter 2 tomorrow.